They say home is where you hang your hats. Well, Christian, until recently, didn't give much mind to hats. He didn't like hat hair because it looks weird, it felt weird, and it didn't go away until you washed it. Also, he heard that hats accelerate hair loss, which is something that runs in his family. Whether accelerated or not, he has started losing his hair, and now he is diving headfirst into hats. What started off as another off the top of the head undergraduate speech he performed in his communications class is now a panache in his Toastmasters research speech. This speech was reworked from the top down and is now on the brim of perfection. Let's find out if Christian can take the crown in his top-heavy speech. Hats. Welcome, Christian.
Thanks, Dan. Well, hang on to your hats, everyone. I'm about to break the enigma surrounding the mystifying headwear, hats. An overview. Hats are unique and ever-changing accessories that have many purposes, distinguish most time periods, and have matted the hair of countless societies over time. As Catherine M. Valenti said, hats have power. Hats can change you into someone else. Hats can transcend typical clothing. The material, it's unlike any other article of clothing. Hatsupply.com lists materials like felt, fabric, fur, faux, of course, or even flowers. But they can also be plastic, metal, or even more weird, as we'll see later. The positioning and gestures with hats can be meaningful as well. You don't say, you don't say, howdy do, neighbor, or I pledge allegiance to the flag. Messaging is also another unique factor of hats. Hats say a lot, just like the old saying, a great hat speaks for itself. Diana Crane says in her article, The Social Meanings of Hats and T-Shirts, closed texts or garments with fixed meanings were typical of class societies. Open texts, garments that continually acquire new meanings, are more likely to appear in fragmented societies because different social groups wish to express different meanings using the same type of garment. Lastly, headwear is a heady subject. 3 central points will be discussed today. First, we'll talk about the history, then we'll go into the purpose, and last, we'll talk about symbolism. Hats have been through a great deal of change through time, going from simple to garish and back again. Hats were an abundant clothing item in early civilization and in prehistory. According to a website from the Silkeborg, Denmark Public Library from February 2007, found with the Wayback Machine, the earliest hat that's ever been found was found on a man who was frozen back from the Bronze Age, and he was located on a mountain between Austria and Italy, and his hat that he was wearing dated back to 3200 BC. However, as the BBC News wrote in their April 25, 2000 article, the world's oldest hat revealed, statues and other art, like paintings, cave drawings, other figurines, they suggest that hats were commonplace going back to at least 30,000 years ago. Kind of makes you wonder which came first, the functional hats like a helmet or the fashionable hats. Hats can vary depending on culture and locale. There's quite a few different types of hats, like the sombrero found in Mexico, or the chulo found in Bolivia and Peru. There's also the keffiyeh in Saudi Arabia, or the kippa worn in Israel. The kufi is worn in Nigeria, and the fulani is worn in West Africa. The fez is also common in Arab-speaking countries. So lots of different types of hats. Some hats, though, are found across culture and location. Take the bowler, for example, or the top hat. Diana Crane, who I mentioned earlier, mentions the top hat appeared in England at the beginning of the 19th century. It was worn first by the middle and upper classes. Some hats are universal for professions, like the chef's hat or the construction helmet. Hats have three main purposes: fashion, function, and status. There are many styles of fashion hats, like the derby hat, the pillbox, or the beret. Some are artistic and weird, and some are unconventional. Some are fashionable while also serving a purpose. Take this captain's hat, for example. This captain's hat likely wasn't the first iteration of this style of hat, but it does mark rank with its fashion. The design transcends pure fashion because it communicates more information than just, hey, this looks cool. Hats can also be functional. So hats can be, as simple as the function is just keeping the sun off your head or out of your eyes, or as complicated as keeping your hands free while you enjoy a beverage or two, or like true headgear, they hold your teeth in the correct position. They can also serve as protection from blunt trauma, such as the bike helmet, a knight's helmet, or a construction helmet. And hats, lastly, also declare social status. To quote again Diana Crane, until the 1960s, the article of clothing that performed the most important role in indicating social distinctions among men was the hat. Now, I'm sure this article is kind of old. She absolutely meant this also applied to women. But, hats are the first thing you see when you look at a person. You can see it easily, and it's easily recognizable from a distance. But they're also the most easily hidden piece of clothing as well. Let's see. And so with that, I will go ahead and wrap this up. Hats are more than an accessory. They communicate, they protect, and they look great. Hats will continue to change over time. They have come so far from burlap caps. Some hats will always be around, but it's fun to think about what hats will look like in 50 years. You can not worry about hat hair because you can always just cover it up with another hat. Or you can pretend your hat is your hair, but my hat is off to you if you can make your hair into a hat. Thank you.